going up the leadership ladder, you will be as advanced you can be. But everything is done in correction, right? And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want you guys to understand that you can't just jump in the middle of a corporation and think you know what's what. People want to follow you and be like, about this guy's good and he knows what he's doing. That's a rare instance. That's truly a rare instance. You have to start at the bottom, move your way up. And people don't know. Leadership does follow a path. It really does, and most people don't understand. You have to start at a certain level and get to a certain level. Because you have to build things up under you. So that when you get to the top level, there's no question of who you are, what you're about, what you're doing. Okay? That's what we're going to start with today. First one I'm going to talk to you guys about is position one. This is the lowest level you can be at. You just got thrust to a job, and you're like, oh, man, I'm trying to be promoted. I was happy right where I was at. Nobody really knows you. They don't, some of them may trust you, but they trust you as a friend because they've been working with you on the same level. Now you're their boss, right? This position is based solely on the position. You may have a problem with people following you because they don't know who you are. They don't trust you. Leaders in this position tend to follow rules and regs really hard because that's the only way they're going to get somebody to hear what they want. And that can be a problem and challenging sometimes. One thing I did love about the military is once I got promoted to E5, I had to went all the way from E1 to E4 with my friends. When they promoted me to E5, I was so happy to be stuck in another squad. Because you can have problems working with your friends. A lot of people, y'all know who's been there. You get up above them, oh dog, we straight now. We ain't got to work as hard. But you know, looking from the back and go, wait a minute, this is my position. If I don't showboat, they ain't coming after you, they're coming after me. Now your friends looking at you, oh, now you're changing on it, you're acting funny, what? Now you're big boy, you can't just, do what we want to do before. This position right here is the hardest position for most people to deal with and accept. This is the position where you have so many problems, you have no influence on what's going on. That's where you got to start to understand if you need to move up, you're going to have to change your way of thinking about what a leader is and what a leader has to do. Alright? Now position, remember that. Position is the lowest. The next level you want to go to is called permission. Now permission, when you start to build relationships, this is when people start to trust you. You're starting to get out there, you're talking to these people, you're figuring out what their problems are, you're working with their schedule, you're moving them around to shuffle things, they got family and doctor events going on, and they start to trust you. They start to trust you because now you're in the trenches with them. You ain't just sitting in the office telling them what to do, but walking around the floor every now and then just to see who's doing what and pointing fingers why you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. Y'all seen it happen. We all have. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, I even been in that position myself. Stand in my office, every now and then I'm gonna get out here to see if they doing what they supposed to do. Go right back to my office. That is now how on level 2 you build a relationship. Level 2 is so much about the relationship, understanding who you're dealing with as far as your work. Alright, if you have an agenda on level 2 for work, and it's not concerning the position. Now this level, leaders find out who the people are. And the people, which are your followers, find out who you are. And that's a big thing. Because at that time, you're going to realize you're going to follow you or fall to the wayside. And that's where you need to start cutting. You don't want to say it that way, but sometimes you got to cut your loss and say, you know what, I don't think we're going to make a good match. I might have to send you over to another department. Alright? Another thing here is very vital. You can like people without leading them, but you cannot lead them well without liking them. That is a true aspect. How many of y'all ever been with someone you truly didn't like and they tell you something to do? How many times did you really want to do it? I don't know what his problem is. They tell me what I'm going to do. I didn't like him in the first place. You kids alive, and I hate to say it, I really hate to say it, I got 6 sisters, there's more and more among them. She's better than me. I'm training her. How's she gonna be the manager and I'm coming in and training her? Alright? So you gotta think about that. Level 2 is position. Permission. Level 1 is position. Lowest one you can be. Nobody knows you, nobody trusts you, nobody understands you. Now you're level 2. You're building relationships with your workers. Starting to develop that trust. You want to understand each other. See where you're going from. Who can do this, who can do that, who can't do this at all. Alright? And the next level we're going to be moving to level 3. Okay? Production. Now that you've gotten your people to start trusting you, this is when you start to produce. The biggest problem is most people get to level 2 and they stop there. They started developing a relationship with their workers and they actually stop there. And that's a problem. You start making friends instead of being their boss. And being a boss ain't a bad thing. I mean, I had a strict rule. I got asked out all the time by employees, once a week. Hey, we're going to the bar across the street. You want to come and hang with us? You know, I really appreciate that, guys, but I got a lot of work on. I got stuff I got to get back to the house. I mean, I was polite about it, but I made a strict rule. I didn't hang out with my employees after work. It compromises some things at certain levels. It really does. You know, it's all right every now and then you have alcohol at the job and have a beer with each other. Don't put it on that personal level. Now, on production level, the great thing about this is once you got past that relationship, you now produce. This is the level where you gain influence and credibility with your employers, with the workers, your followers, because they see that, okay, you know what? I trust him, he trusts me, I know what he said he's going to do. We buckle down, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And the turnover in this section right here is really, really low, guys. I mean, the morale goes up, profit goes up, your momentum kicks in at that time, you really feel good about yourself, now you're starting to get a cohesive unit. And that's the best thing that can happen to anybody at any level. If you don't start at 1, you can't get to 3. You can't just jump in at 2 and get to 3. You got to start at the bottom and work your way up. Always remember that. There are steps to everything you do. The problem is, you're going to follow them or jump from 1 all the way to 4. That's always a problem. I'm telling you, I've been there. I work in corporate America, I've been in the military. If you get bounced around and pushed over into places that you're not comfortable with, you're only good if you're limited. That, and eventually, believe me, your limit comes to show. I swear to you, it eventually comes out and shows as far as you're going to go. Alright? Success and productivity have been known to solve a lot of problems. And that's what happens on level 3. On production. Now, level 4 is the best one you can have. This is when you are now starting to develop your people. What you want to do at this level is replicate yourself. That is the biggest thing you can ever do. You need to empower your workers and replicate yourself. If I got 5 Macs doing the same thing that Mac is doing, I know I'm good. I know he's straight. It's done. I ain't even got a question. There ain't no need for me to come into work today, which I better be at work, but there's no need that I know that when I'm off work or doctor's appointment or I'm sick, it's being done exactly the way that I've shown them to do it. It's going to be done on time. And that's what you need to do at level 4. Level 4, 2 things happen. Teamwork goes up to a very high level, and performance increases. That's what you want. See, level 4 leaders change the lives of people that they lead. And you do that by empowering them. You do that by teaching them to be the leaders that they can be and bringing out the leader within them. Alright? So you got to think about that. How can I take a guy who's at the lowest position and make him feel like or show him he can be as good as I am? You need to start training him, talking to him, mentoring him, and guiding him so you can get the same out of him that you put out of yourself. Level 4, develop relationships, and normally lifelong relationships. And that's what you're hoping for, and that's what you need. Okay? Now, the very last level, called finish. This is the top level you can get. You have now went from the lowest position, which is position, you went up to permission and developed some relationship. You hit level 3, and you're doing production, your crew is running and moving, and y'all making it happen. You got to level 4, you train your employees to be as good as you are, and they trust you, and they know that there's no reason they shouldn't understand what you put out for them to do. See, level 5, when you get here, only gifted leaders hit this level. You see, level 5 leaders are the type of people that develop leaders for the organization. And that's what you need. You just don't want leaders of certain groups. You want leaders for the organization. Because at some point, you want to get them to know that when you fall out, get sick, get hurt, or retire, you already got your replacement around right behind you. And that's what a level 5 leader does. Level 5 leaders create opportunities that other leaders don't. The reason they do that is because they seem to transcend the thinking of what everybody else has. They always say think outside the box. Level 5 leaders think of the whole box. They make up the box that you actually thinking in. They fill every corner of it, every angle of it. They even sitting there holding it like, oh man, I got another box over here. One, I can buy these 2 boxes and make a bigger box, and I can divide these up in quarters, and I can do, section this off and split this off this way. Whereas everybody else thinks, man, the most we can get out of this is this. He's already split it up into sections and moved it off into different divisions. Level 5 leaders are the ones that change an industry. They change an organization, and they change the people who work up under them. Now, when you get to level 5 leaders, and I pray that everyone in this room will one day, whether it's in your own business, or a corporation, or even it's just staying in school, that you went through all the steps that I've shown you, so you can become the best leader you can be. That you just don't jump around, because what's going to happen is you're going to jump from 1 to 3, and then you're going to have to backtrack and go back down to 2 to develop relationships with that person, or you get up to 2 and you jump all the way up to 5. And now you want to understand why you ain't got people up under you who can mimic and do the same things you do. You're going to have issues. But if you follow this leadership ladder, what I've shown you guys today, and you take each one of these steps to heart, it's almost like having, as they say in the military, army of one, it's almost having one more of you every time you step up. And even if you only transcend this with one person, that's fine. Sometimes you ain't going to have 5, 10, 15 people. Even if you just get that one that keeps moving right when you move, you'll be just fine. Because when you're ready to move up to an even bigger position, you know that the person below you understands things and does the same things that you do, the way that you do, and there's no issues in the future. I hope this has been very mind-opening and opened up your eyes to the way leaders think and do things, the way some corporations work, because mostly everybody does it this way. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. If anyone of you guys want me to email this to you or print it out so you can carry it home with you, I'll be happy to do that. But this time that ends my presentation, and I'm glad you guys were getting to listen to it.
Give a round of applause, y'all.